Cannot underestimate how huge of a win that is for Liverpool Football Club. And one, as an Arsenal fan, where I'm kind of looking at it and being like, there is that quality still there, and everybody definitely needs to be wary of it. I've said it many times before, don't write off this Liverpool team, and tonight is a massive example of why that is the case. Before I do begin, if you are a Liverpool fan, if you're new here, please do hit the subscribe and the like. I'm always analysing games of rival clubs in a very fair manner. But yeah, let's just look at the game. And from the start, we'll be honest, Frankfurt were all over Liverpool. I think the intensity of Frankfurt was there. I think the energy and the application from Frankfurt was there. It's what you expect, going away from home in the Champions League to a side like Frankfurt in the competition, off the back of a couple of poor results themselves, conceding a lot of goals. They would have themselves wanted to put things right. They're not in a too dissimilar situation to Liverpool in the sense that they've been very inconsistent, leaking goals that they shouldn't be leaking. But when they were putting that pressure on, they had opportunities, they had a couple of chances. There was the one in which, he was offside in the end, but it would have been onside where it deflected off a Liverpool player. Then, of course, you had the one that ended up in the goal from Kristensen. And it happened where there was a huge space in the middle of the park. And you're kind of thinking about Liverpool and you're looking at their lineup. You're thinking Szoboszlai and Jones. That gap is there. It's showing two players who are not very much renowned for their defensive sort of attributes. But I think after that goal from Kristensen went in, something flicked for Liverpool. It genuinely flicked. I saw, these guys are now locked in. These guys are now understanding the game they're in. These guys are now nullifying the threat of Frankfurt. There's something that big teams love to do, and it's suffocating and not allowing for a release. All the best teams limit the transitions of the smaller teams who want to play on the break. And I feel as though Frankfurt are sort of defending in this rigid sort of 5-4-1 formation. They tried to make it really tight and sort of compacted. But what Liverpool did, they were relentless. They pushed Van Dijk higher. They had Konate a bit higher as well. So what that inevitably does is it moves the centre forward backwards, because he's not an orthodox centre forward. He's sort of a guy who's, he's a...
Arne Slot, listen to me. It's almost like everything I said on my match reaction for Man United 2, Liverpool 1, everything I said that Arne Slot needs to do, he did it. Every single thing I did. Mohamed Salah must be dropped. Ekitike and Isak can play together. Start Andy Robertson over Kirkes. Conor Bradley is a better fullback than Frimpong. Start Szoboszlai and Jones together and drop McAllister. Gravenberch clearly dropped as well due to his injury against Manchester United, or his fitness concerns he has. Liverpool today bounced back, and yes, it's Frankfurt. Yes, they've conceded 15 goals, which is obscene, by the way. 15 goals in 3 games. Yes, they lost 5-1 to Galatasaray, 5-1 to Liverpool, and they also lost 5-1 to, I believe it was Club Brugge or Atletico Madrid. I look at Liverpool today, and it was a must-win game, because I look at Liverpool in this Brentford game Saturday night at the G-Tech. It's a massive, massive game. It really, really is, because they have all the ability in the world at their feet going forward, but defensively, there are concerns for me looking at them. But today was all about 2 players, and I want to get into those very, very shortly. But it was all about getting the win, progressing in the Champions League, building momentum. You've lost 4 on the bounce. You bounce back, go and then beat Brentford on Saturday. And then after that, they've got City and Real Madrid coming their way. But today was about one thing. Arne Slot had to get back to winning ways, and they did that in really, really good fashion.
This 5-1 from Liverpool is such a needed result. And I know a lot of people are going to think Frankfurt, who cares? They should be beating them. Yes, you're correct. Liverpool should be beating Frankfurt. There's no doubt about that. This should be a given. And the fact that the game started off with a scare is a little bit concerning. However, it's a result that boosts your confidence. It's a result that gets you feeling like, okay, we're not totally done. There's still some fight in this old dog. And that's exactly what Liverpool did today. Now, if they had won 1-0 or 2-1, again, you're going to kind of walk away from it and be like, what's it saying? But now everybody's getting a feel of some goals. Everybody's getting some excitement because you batter the team. The centre-backs get a goal. Now, that's not defensive prowess by scoring, but goals will give you confidence regardless of what position you play in. I don't care if you're a fullback, you're a centre back, you're a left back, wherever you play, if you get a goal, it gives you some form of confidence. You're on cloud 9. And for Konate and Van Dijk, two people who have been in the headlines in terms of their defensive qualities this season, they will need that. They're going to look at each other and be like, okay, now job's not done, but that is the type of thing that you need when you're off form. They've lost 4 in a row, and now they've won a game 5-1. And they got Brentford away. Yeah, they got Brentford away next at 8 o'clock. That's going to be quite difficult. But they got Brentford away next. So they want to walk into that game with confidence. They want to walk into that game on cloud 9, right? And you know what? I want to give a shout to Arne Slot. And that's not because of, we're going to rewrite anything that's happened this season. No. But I think it's taken him too long personally to realize maybe what the best thing to do to get out of this Liverpool team is. And when I look at the Liverpool team, this is a team that's made for a 4-4-2 at the moment. It's a team that's made for a 4-4-2. And do you know what he did today? He went to the 4-4-2. And I did a video the other day talking about in this 4-3-3 era, you never really have a striker that is on the same level as their second striker. And if you do, one of them is going to leave eventually. One of them is going to leave quite quickly. So there's always this kind of dilemma with what's going to happen with Ekitike and Isak. And do you know what he did today? He said, you know what, I'm going to put them both up front. He's going to put Florian Wirtz on the right-hand side, and Wirtz can drift off, but he's going to have him predominantly on the right-hand side. He's got Curtis Jones and Szoboszlai, and then he's got Gakpo on the left. So all of a sudden, they're in a 4-4-2. Ekitike is playing in his best position. Isak's playing in his best position. Wirtz, maybe that's not his best position, but he was able to come off the flank.
Okay. Fairs. 5-1, Liverpool. Frankfurt. Man. Take me back to that goal from Kristensen. Man. You know what I mean? Take me back to them first 30 minutes, because that was the enjoyable part. The rest, not so enjoyable. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And this title is not clickbait. I don't do clickbait. I don't do that. But I think Liverpool are lucky tonight. The high line. This Frankfurt high line has gifted Liverpool. Tonight, if Liverpool fans think they're back after tonight, man, you are in for a rude awakening against Brentford, where normality will restore. Tonight has showed me nothing about Liverpool. It has showed you nothing about Liverpool. Today, you have been gifted by Frankfurt. You have been gifted today. Not only have you been gifted with the set pieces, but the high line of Frankfurt has absolutely given not only Arne Slot a bit of respite, but Liverpool some huge respite and some stat padding going on today, man. Florian Wirtz, you will not get away with stat padding today. Mr. Ben 10, you will not get away with stat padding. Tonight, these assists do not count. You're playing in Germany. We need to see that in England. Yeah? One little pass to Szoboszlai and one little cutback will not be sufficient. So Florian Wirtz, today doesn't count. Tonight doesn't count. We're not going to allow you to go back to Germany. You know what I mean? I know you've been homesick. We're not allowing you to go back to Germany and, you know what I mean, decide that you're just going to get 2 assists out of nowhere. We're not doing that. It does not count. So Liverpool fans, shush.
Full 5, Frankfurt 1, are Liverpool back? That was resounding. It was men against boys, and you've got to give credit for Liverpool. But I tell you what, Arne Slot has still got a big job on his hands, but I think he probably learnt a few lessons tonight. No Mo Salah in the team, Isak hooked at half-time, and Andy Robertson back in the side down the left-hand side with Kerkez benched as well. Look, I tell you what, I've been looking forward to this game for a long time. Frankfurt are a team that always concede and are a good team to watch. They scored a fantastic team goal, one of the best goals I've seen in the Champions League this week. But it was all downhill after that. the experience of Liverpool. It's funny because people have a go at set piece Arsenal, but look, Liverpool have scored 2 corners today, towering headers from Van Dijk and Konate, and that just took the game away from Frankfurt, that experience to make it 3-1. They could have had a lot more in the second half, and it was men against boys. And when you contrast that to what you saw against Manchester United, I thought Gakpo was very good again for Liverpool tonight. He's having a fantastic season for them. But look, sometimes it's just about those finer margins. You know, Gakpo misses a sitter, hits the post a couple of times. Liverpool a little bit naive in that game where they were more switched on tonight. And look, they've got to use that as a spark. Whether Liverpool are back or not, I think it's going to be very difficult for Liverpool to win the title, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But Brentford at the weekend, then Carabao Cup, then they've got Villa at home, and then they've got Man City away. They've really got to be looking to win all 3 of those. And I think that Man City game, well, if you can beat Villa and Brentford, that Man City game becomes an opportunity, and that's what Liverpool have got to work towards. And I think